Hello, welcome to another episode of Snail Mail with Smokey. I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about a postal cover, and more specifically, this postal cover here. But first, let me mention a few things. One of the reasons that I'm so passionate about philately is because I believe that every stamp has a story. Every stamp has a history. It has a place where it began, it has a journey that it's taken, and it has a destination. And for most of us collectors, the final destination of our stamps doesn't end with us. We're just custodians of our collection as long as we are here on this planet. And then whether we trade stamps or we sell them or our collection goes to future generations, the collection and the story of the stamps continues. That's one of the things I love so much about this hobby. And so, because I believe that every stamp has a story, I'm going to share with you in this episode the story of this stamp and this cover. So let's begin by first examining this cover. All right, so I'm going to throw an image of the cover up on the screen so you can see it. So let's talk about this for a minute. The first thing we notice is that this is a United States stamped envelope. These are envelopes that are stamped by the post office. They're still available today. You can buy them online through the USPS website, or you can walk up to your local post office counter and say, "I'd like a stamped envelope, please." Today's cost for one of these is 88 cents. A first class stamp here in the US costs you 68 cents. So if you do the math, they're charging you an additional 20 cents for the envelope. Now this envelope that we're looking at features a 3-cent embossed stamp. That means the stamp is embossed into the envelope, and it features a picture of President George Washington. Now this embossed stamp design is design U93, and I believe the Scott catalog number is U436. But when you get into this specialty of postal stationery, it can get kind of tricky, and I'm not an expert, so I could be wrong, but for my research, I believe it is Scott number U436. Upon further inspection of this envelope, you see that it is postmarked in Princeton, Wisconsin on July 8th, 1946. You'll also notice that it is addressed to Mrs. B.H. Schultz, who lives in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So now, what's up with this cover? Where did this come from? Where did it go? And how come it is now part of my collection? Well, let me tell you the story. As a stamp collector and a philatelist, oftentimes people are really gracious and generous, and they give me stamps. And I'm so very grateful to everyone who does that. Not just people who watch my channel and send me things, which I'm very appreciative of, but people that I meet in my everyday life, friends, family. They all give me stamps and covers and postcards and things because they know that I really love them. And so there is a wonderful lady who is part of the congregation at my church. Her name is Judy, and Judy gave me this cover. So let me now share with you the story of this cover as was told to me by Judy. So today, Judy is in her mid-80s, and in the summer of 1946, Judy was 7 years old, living with her family in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But in the summer of 1946, she went to stay with her Uncle Adolph and Aunt Evelyn in the small town of Princeton, Wisconsin, which is just 103 miles away from Judy's hometown of Milwaukee. Now, today, Princeton has a population of around 1,200 people, while Milwaukee has a population of well over 500,000. So even when Judy was a small girl, there was quite the change from going from the larger city of Milwaukee to the farming community of Princeton, Wisconsin. By 1946, Judy already had 4 siblings in her family. But at the age of 43, her mother was expecting another child. So Judy's aunt purchased this envelope from the post office, and together, her and Judy wrote to Judy's mom, who was Mrs. Bernard Schultz, about the adventures that they were having together on the farm that summer. Now, I asked Judy if she was able to mail this letter herself, and she told me that on her aunt and uncle's farm, there was a very long driveway. And so it was a really great distance from the end of the driveway to the house. And so she said you had to go all the way to the end of the driveway, and then you had to turn right and go a little bit further down the road before you reached their mailbox. And so Judy said at such a young age, she was not allowed to go that far away from her aunt and uncle's farm by herself. So it was her, accompanied by her aunt, that took this letter and placed it in the mailbox at the farm for pickup and delivery by the Postal Service. So little did Judy or her aunt and uncle know that the day after they mailed this letter to Judy's mom, which would have been July 9th, 1946, Judy's youngest brother was born. So for over 78 years, Judy has kept this postal cover. Now, although the letter is since gone, this cover has kept the memory alive for her of this event and this great summer that she had in 1946, visiting her aunt and uncle's farm, and as well as the arrival of her youngest sibling. And I am so honored and blessed, frankly, to be able to add this piece of postal history to my collection. Well, that is Judy's story, and that is the story of this stamp and this postal cover. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Snail Mail with Smokey. If you have, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. I plan on bringing you more videos featuring stories of stamps and covers and postcards and other items. It's something I'm very passionate about. You can have 100 different stamps. They all may look identical, but I promise you each one has an individual story, and I'm excited to be bringing those to you. Also, coming up in just a very short amount of time, in just a few days, will be a new episode of Stamp versus Stamp. That's my collaboration with Rob, That Dad Guy, here on YouTube. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out very, very soon. So thank each and every one of you for watching. And until I see you next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.